And another Vermintide 2 kind of Grimoire and Tome tutorial here. Today we're going to be doing Against the Grain. I'm going to be playing the Mighty Salt Spire as we go through the entirety of this mission to discover each one of the tomes and each one of the Grimoire locations here. We'll fast forward here. As just a kind of a heads up, guys, I apologize for the flickering. It appears that the beta kind of has a little bit of an issue with recording on OBS. Sometimes it flickers, sometimes it doesn't. You should only have to deal with it about, I don't know, like maybe about a half or 3/4 of the video. You know, not that bad. But we're going to go through each one of these tomes and each one of these locations. And as we know, the tomes and Grimoires do give you additional additional loot when it comes to the end game. Obviously, the end of every single Vermintide 2 mission is important because that's where you get your loot chests. If you get a commendation one, let me just log off here. You get a commendation one for any time you complete a mission for the first time, or if you level up, then you also get your actual loot chest that levels up from peasant to merchant to soldier to general to emperor to, I think, champion being the last one. So you do have quite a lot of options here, and there's very many ways to get those increased. You've got mission completed, you've got a quick play bonus, you've got each one of the tomes gives you an additional bonus, each one of the grimoires gives you an additional bonus. Any loot dice you find give you an additional bonus, and this we find 2. Since you might not be able to see them because we're speeding up here. And then we also get a bonus for Ronald's gift, and Ronald is the emperor god of luck. So in a great kind of gambling way, you might get a lot of Ronald's gift, you might get very little. So who's to tell, who's to say? We'll kind of go through here and we'll show each individual tome and grimoire. I'll stop where we get to the point that we are going to jump up to find each one. I'll kind of give a little bit of a preface for each one as well. You guys have said you really enjoy this format of showing off where the tomes and grimoires are because it allows you guys to have some frame of reference, right? I hate when you watch these videos, you don't know where the hell is going on. But we have our first one right here. You see this giant haystack. You're going to be climbing this haystack. And this fence, gonna have the screen flicker and jump across each little pylon one at a time. Now you can see I kind of got lost here because I forgot for a second, but don't get scared. Don't get scared. The tome's here. The tome's here. I swear to God. My character will find that in 3, 2, 1. That's a chimney stack. There it is. So right up there, you just kind of climb up a little bit. You grab it, and you're good to go. Then you can just stab the hell out of a chaos warrior like I did. And for the next 3, in fact, actually, Grimoire number 1, Grimoire number 2, and Tome number 2 are all stacked up right next to each other. And I'm going to go about getting them in a way that's a little bit different from the way I've played with most people. Most people kind of do them in order. As just a heads up, this part of the map, you have a big, huge field on your right, and there's just this road. Try and stay on the road. The road will you'll circumvent a lot of fighting you don't need to do. And on higher difficulties, sparing your ammo as much as you can, sparing your actual health as much as you can. Everything in the higher difficulties is a resource, so keep that in mind. We'll kind of just scurry through here on fast play or fast forward. One thing to note, I am just playing with bots, so that is kind of nice. I don't have to worry about anyone picking these up, so I can show you guys where they are. That's a nice little bonus. In Vermintide 1, it was kind of a pain in the ass to get the bots to pick up any tomes or any grimoires. You'll see here that they've kind of fixed that, and they kind of also haven't. So that barnyard on your right, or that barn on your right, that's where the first grimoire is. We'll be coming back to that in a second here, and of course we'll slow everything down so it'll all make sense. You'll come up to this nice little windmill action. You'll kill your way through a ton of other things, and that giant windmill you see is actually where the second grimoire is. And it's kind of nice here because you'll see why in just a second why we wait, and it's important because we had to grab the keys here to unlock the barn. And the barn is kind of a shit show because once you unlock that barn, boom! Usually it's a rat ogre. This is the first time it was a chaos spawn. It was terrifying for me. But remember, grimoires do knock off 33% of your health. So if you wait to get both these grimoires, you're going to be doing this boss fight with 66% more health, because if you're doing this on a higher difficulty, that's gonna be a pain in the ass. So once you kill that creature, you're gonna be coming back here. You're gonna open this little bad boy, this little farmhouse. You're gonna see people screaming in the foyer over here. Jesus. You're gonna open up this. You're well, first you're gonna grab this this explosive barrel, come back down these steps, have the screen flicker, lodge the barrel will automatically lodge itself in there. When you press left click, it'll automatically lodge itself in. It'll blow up some slats there. You'll kind of squeeze through, go out this little ladder, not a rope ladder, and there you go. There's your first grimoire. You'll pick that up, you'll grab some ammo, you'll have a little tiny horde to deal with. And keep in mind, you can only hold one grimoire and one tome. Tome goes in your potion slot, grimoire goes in your, I'm sorry, your tome goes in your health slot, and then your other one, okay, so this ladder is going to lead you up to your second grimoire, and your grimoire goes in your potion slot. Go up this ladder right here, and you can kind of see that's where the barn is in relation to this. You're going to kind of come over the top here. You're going to see this little tiny thing sticking out. You're going to have the screen flicker a little bit, and then you're going to be brave. You're going to edge out slowly, 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 jump on to this gurney, then jump onto these platforms, and you don't have to jump right here. These things are all connected. Here you do have to jump. So first leap, get a good angle on it, then your second leap. So there's your second grimoire. As you can see, the AI doesn't pick the grimoires up, period. In fact, if they have anything in a slot that this would otherwise occupy, they will not pick it up. So a nice way to kind of get around that is if I hadn't picked up a grimoire and I had told them to pick up the grimoire, they would have picked it up. You can't swap out a grimoire if you already have it equipped. But here's our second tome. You're going to come up over here to these, up into the barn. You're going to jump onto this gurney. You're going to see this little windowsill, jump onto that, and then kind of angle yourself so you can jump onto this platform, and boom, your other tome. Now you'll realize here, I'm going to press, wait for it. There it is, little sneak. Carillion did not have anything in her potion slot, or in her health slot, so she was able to warp to me and pick that up. They will do that for you. So right now I have all the tomes picked up. You see that Carillion's got one, Sienna's got one, and I have got one. Or I'm sorry, no. Oh, man, maybe I made a mistake. At one point I had all the tomes picked up because the third one is right here. So this third one is right after that barn. You're going to come over here to this little crack. Let me give you some frame of reference of where this is. So you'll see at the other end of this road, before you go up to the next area, you'll see a cart at the opposite end of this, maybe an incendiary bomb. You're going to jump down into this little, through this broken bridge and pick up your last tome. So now you're going to use this little felled tree to climb back up. So now you're going to see here that we've got each and every one of the tomes. We've got one grimoire. Unfortunately, we couldn't pick up the other grimoire, which is a crying shame. But this is going to allow you to essentially get through the rest of the map with your tomes and your grimoires. There are no other grimoires or no other pickups from this point on, which is kind of nice. And as you can see here, I was struggling because if they use a health potion or they pick up health, they're just going to drop the tome forever. So I recommend not doing this with bots, obviously, unless you really want to be finicky with what items they pick up and everything of the sort here. For the most part now, this is just me playing through. We got 2 loot dices, loot die, I guess you could say. Dices is not correct. We just kind of wade through everything, picking these up. I will continue to do more of these videos covering more of the individual tomes and individual grimoires that we find in the game here. I'm having a lot of fun playing through with Indie Pride, Lord Master of Sotek, John Ton, a lot of other people that are playing right now, so we'll have a lot of gameplay coming up with them. What we will be doing here too is maybe going through a slow playthrough of each one of these areas that has these tomes and these grimoires to help you kind of give you an idea of how to do this strategically in the higher level or higher difficulty levels. This is just to give you an idea of where these are for now. Also, I do want to mention that these tomes and these grimoires are, even though this is the beta, this is probably set in stone by now. The game comes out in a handful of days. Let me know if you enjoy this format. I think universally this is a pretty good format. Everyone seems to really enjoy it. I just want to make sure I'm still on point with this. We'll have more of these coming out in the days to come as the game releases. Many of you had said you want to see through the end of the match, so I'm just kind of letting this pan out here. And there was something I was about to say about those tomes and grimoires, but just coming. Oh, that's right. So we will definitely have some timestamps here at the bottom. So if you don't want to wade through me talking about individual things, you can just jump to each and every one of the locations of these tomes and grimoires and kind of backtrack a little bit to at least get some frame of references to where they are. But this map actually was in the first beta, so I know this one pretty well. We have a bunch of other maps that have been released in 2 days. This is the 6th of March. We will have plenty of other maps. But thanks for joining me here today, guys. Have a good one and take care.